Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to the fourth day of our Knowledge Week for Suleman Dawood School of Business. It basically is a week-long webcast series for a few of the graduate programs that we teach at Sdsb. My name is Amar bin Salim, and I'm going to be your host for today's program. And I should let you know that so far we have already covered the webcast for our programs, MS Financial Management, MS Accounting and Analytics, MS Supply Chain and Retail Management, and yesterday we did MS Healthcare Management and Innovation. So in case you're interested in any of those programs, your videos are available on our Facebook page. So I'd request you to do watch those videos as well. Today, inshallah, we'll be talking about the Executive MBA program, and tomorrow will be our last day for this Sdsb Knowledge Week, and inshallah, we'll be closing it up with our webcast for Master of Business Administration. Now, all of these programs that I've talked about, all of them are offered at Sdsb or Suleman Dawood School of Business. And it is the most celebrated business school in the country, and it has a significant history of producing and training industry leaders, corporate managers, and igniting the entrepreneurial spirit as well. Now, on top of that, Sdsb is the first, and it is also the only business institution in Pakistan to have secured the AACSB accreditation. And that is an achievement that clubs us with the top 5% of the world's business schools. Now today, inshallah, we'll be talking about the Executive MBA program, its structure, the admission criteria. But again, as I always say, we are not going to limit ourselves to the discussion of these topics. This information you can also find at our website. But also, we will be talking about how effective this Executive MBA program is and how it helps our graduates when they go back to their companies with this degree. Okay, so also I'd like to let you know that this program is being done for you. So if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, please make sure you're letting us know about them. You're noting them down in the comment section, in the chat section, and our social media team will pick them up and will give them to me. And inshallah, I'll try to find the answers to your queries by speaking with our panelists. So without further ado, I welcome Drs. Shakil Sadiq Chacha, Dr. Jawad Sayed, and Ms. Faria Shahid. Dr. Shakil is an Associate Professor of Operations and Supply Chain Management, and he is also the Program Director for Executive MBA Program. Dr. Jawad Sayed holds a PhD in Business from Macquarie University, Australia, and he is associated with Sdsb as a Professor of Organizational Behavior and Leadership. Dr. Jawad had agreed to join us for this Executive MBA, and owing to an emergency, he is traveling, but thank you so much, Dr. Jawad, for being with us. Ms. Faria Shahid is a current student in our Executive MBA program, and at present, she is serving as the head proposition at Habib Bank Limited Prestige. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. And Dr. Shakil, since you are the program director for this program, I'm going to be starting with you. It would be great if you could please introduce the program to our audience and let them know about everything about it with regards to its structure as well.
Thank you very much, Amar, for organizing this session. And also thank you, Dr. Jawad and Faria, for joining us on this session. And also thank you, those who are joining us on social media and watching and taking interest in this webinar on Executive MBA. So Amar, this program is basically designed for those individuals who are making progress, have made significant progress in the functional areas. They are mid-career professionals and they are preparing themselves, or their organizations want them to be prepared for senior to top management positions within their organizations. And you can understand that as long as you're working within a function, you develop yourself in that function only, but to become a senior manager or to take leadership positions in an organization, you need to have a holistic understanding of how business works and how you can lead as a business manager in the senior and leadership positions. So this program basically prepares you for taking on those roles, moving you, updating you from a functional effective manager to a senior to top level effective manager in your organization, or even if you want to change organization or industry or become even entrepreneur, you will come across many of the ideas and frameworks and tools and people even that can help you become more effective as a senior leader or as an entrepreneur also. Now, also regarding your structure of the program is 2 years long, but it is designed in such a way that it can suit the busy schedule of working individuals, and it ask you to come to campus, or in case of online, after every 2 weekends for 2 days. And then there are small patches of consecutive days where you have to come on campus to take classes. So therefore, this program, considering that it is targeting senior or middle managers in their organizations, is designed to keep them um, aligned with their work as well as the education that they want to have at Sdsb in MBA. So this is the structure of the program also. So I think in that sense, this program speaks to those who are living or working in any part of the country to become part of this very versatile program. Also, I think linked to this is the kind of students or the kind of talent that we have in this program. So we get students from different industries in this program. So you will see people from telecom, banking, fertilizer, automobile, IT, and so on, and their own businesses also, family businesses, and they're running their own businesses as well. So you will see that the combination of the students is such that it is very diverse. And at the same time, they have worked in their businesses or in their functional areas for a reasonable number of time. For example, the average experience of the class is around 11 years. So which means that each individual has spent around, on average, 11 years in their functional domain. So one, we get the breadth from different industries, and also we get the depth from the experience that the students have in their own organization or in their functional area. So you can understand the richness that kind of group will bring in the conversation. And the conversation in Executive MBA is very, you can say, or the classroom in the Executive MBA is very discussion oriented, and tries to leverage the experience sitting in the classroom with the students. So I think this speaks to your initial question of where is this program targeted, who are the individuals who would be interested in this program, and how this program is structured and delivered.
It certainly does. Thank you so much, Dr. Zeza, for going into such details for the benefit of our audience. Dr. Jawad, I see you have found a place, you have found a rest area, and once again, it's very kind of you to not have cancelled and being with us today. Dr. Jawad, how, in your opinion, does the LUMS Executive MBA program add value to the executives who come to us with already a lot of experience with them? Now, this is a question that I was personally asked when I visited a company last year with regards to our Executive MBA outreach.
Thank you, Amar, for this opportunity. Also, thanks to Dr. Shakil, the Director of Executive MBA program, and our marketing team for this opportunity. I would say that in order to fully understand and appreciate the contours and the possible contribution of the LUMS Executive MBA program, or EMBA, is perhaps that we need to revisit the vision and mission of the business school. In particular, I would say that it's important for us to revisit the values of the business school, which revolve around 6 key elements, which is merit, integrity, diversity, academic freedom, tolerance, and excellence. So I would say that while we are focusing on all of these 6 values, it is important to fully understand that when we refer to excellence, we expect our graduates to have excellence not only in terms of impact on the organizations which they would be joining after graduation, but also in terms of their impact on the society. Therefore, as Dr. Shakil very aptly explained, that our program is primarily aimed at development of middle managers For example, one requirement is this, that they have to have at least 6 years of work experience. So this means that they are already working at middle level managerial position in corporations, in the corporate sector or in public sector organizations. But over and above, for example, if you look at our current class profile, the average work experience is 11 years. So this means that they are at fairly, I would say, if not exactly senior, but senior middle positions in organizations. They have a variety of backgrounds. So some of them are graduate in business, but then quite a few of them are graduate in medicine, and a significant number of them, they are graduate in engineering. But it would appear that for many of them, the opportunities for advancement to senior leadership positions are limited unless they have some basic understanding of general management. And that general management and leadership skills are imparted through our Executive MBA program. So this means that if you are an engineer with 10 years of work experience, and if you are working at a middle management position, but surely you are aspiring to be the CEO or CFO or CEO of an organization, then come to us. We are the right place. We don't commit that you would find us easy. Our commitment is this, that you would find us challenging, but we also hope that you would find us fulfilling. So Amar, I don't know whether it answers your question or not.
It has, Dr. Jawad, but you have set the proposition straight as well. If you want to be CEO, please make sure you're joining our Executive MBA. Okay, Faria, मैं थोड़ा सा इस direction को थोड़ा सा change करता हूँ webcast के start में ही. First of all, it is very refreshing to have you because in you we will find a current student's perspective as well as the perspective of an alumni as well, because Faria did her undergraduate studies at LUMS too. So Faria, how has your experience been so far? कैसा आपको जो है feel होता है LUMS Executive MBA जब Dr. Jawad कह रहे थे it is not going to be easy, तो आप उस वक्त मैंने आपके expressions तो note कर लिए थे, लेकिन क्या आपको ज्यादा फीलिंग होती है? अच्छा लगता है लम्स आना और मैनेज हो जाता है आपके ख्याल से?
So Amar, thank you, because I think you've actually articulated 2-3 different questions, together in one. So I'll just start off with my own experience. I mean, being an alumni was a reason in itself for me to come back to a graduate degree. And for me, what other better place or platform than my alma mater? Like my, like Dr. Jawad and Dr. Shakil very rightfully pointed out, anybody living in any city of the country, there is no better platform than LUMS. But when I talk about the EMBA program and in my own personal experience, I think it's been exhilarating so far. I mean, we're in the last module and we're nearing completion of the program. And I already feel those withdrawal symptoms, because it's like EMBA has kind of embedded itself in our work life, the personal life, everything, so to speak. But when I talk about the program, I think EMBA presents an excellent opportunity to develop strategic and critical thinking. I think, like Dr. Shakil said, the case studies coupled with the classroom learning, we've been talking about 11 years of average experience. 49 students put together makes it about 500 years of experience in a classroom, which is just phenomenal just to be a part of that platform, So I just feel that, these fundamentals, like Dr. Jawad said, are assets to develop oneself and, to further and propel where you are in your career. And I feel that at LUMS in this last 1.5 year, I was able to learn and I was able to challenge myself and, challenge others. And this came through the deep analysis, through finding solutions, to stating my opinion in a very, very limited time, because it's a big class, it's a case pedagogy. There are people, the instructors only steer the conversation. So, unlike a lecture-based class, we have 2 very capable instructors who I highly respect. They never share their opinion, no matter how much we ask them to. And that's, I feel, one of the unique selling propositions of this program, because they will ensure that at the end of the class, we find the answer ourselves. So I mean, to summarize, I feel that this program and LUMS seeds and it inculcates this yearning to do better, wherever you are in all aspects of life, not just in your professional career. And it opens new horizons and aspirations, which I feel are of great value to and all individuals from all walks of life. So I think that would be my starting comment about the program.
Okay, thank you, Faria. I think that was a very rich comment that you made with regards to how effective the LUMS Executive MBA program is for its students. And that is for our audience, that is somebody's opinion who is already engaged in our Executive MBA program as a current student. Okay, now I had a few other questions planned, but I am getting questions from our audience as well, so I'm going to hold them for a while. I'm going to quickly going to including the community questions first. Saifullah Khan asks, can you do this executive MBA program after doing masters, and what is the work experience requirement? So Dr. Chacha, I'd like आप इस question को पहले answer कर दें, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Yes, so SAF, this program you can apply if you have 16 years of education, regardless of which background that you have in terms of education. I think by masters you mean 16 years of education. It can also be 18 years of education, but either it is 16 or it is 18, you can definitely apply to LUMS Executive MBA. And the second thing was, what was Amar, the second part? I often forget this.
No problem, Dr. Jaja. It was about work experience, but now that you're asking, Hussain se bhi hame question work experience ka hi aaya hai, ki work experience requirement kitni hai, and then he is doing ACCA. So would that be okay कि अगर वो ACCA qualification के साथ 6 years work experience का apply कर सके?
Right. So work experience, so I complete the education part. ACCA, I think, is considered equal to 16 years of education. If this is so, definitely you can apply. In terms of duration of work experience, it is minimum 6 years. Beyond that is valued, cherished, and acknowledged in the application consideration process. Average class experience is 11 years. So definitely somebody who has more than 6 years of experience can apply in this program.
बिल्कुल ठीक है डॉक्टर चजा, थैंक यू डॉक्टर जवाद, आपके पास आता हूँ. हाउ इन योर ओपिनियन डज द लम्स एग्जीक्यूटिव my question was, what is the main teaching methodology employed at Sdsb, and how do you think it plays its role in the teaching of executive MBA webcasts?
I'm sorry, Amar, can you please repeat your question?
Sure. So what is the main teaching methodology employed at Sdsb, and how does that aid the teaching of executive MBA courses? I think I said webcast.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Amar. If I use the Harvard terminology, we use the participant-centered learning approach. So the participant-centered learning approach is this, that look, when I go to the classroom, and I hope that Faria would be able to be offer her own comment, being the participant in the classroom, being our student. But when I go to the classroom, or when my colleagues, Dr. Shakil and other instructors in Executive MBA, when we go to teach our respective subjects, whether those are operations research, supply chain management, leadership or organizational behavior, or business ethics, or Islamic ethics, we do not go there as instructors. And surely we do not go there to offer a monologue. So basically, when we go there with a view to learn from our own participants, and those are our students who have their own specific perspective on actual real life situations in organizations, whether those organizations and those scenarios are in South Asian context, or whether those are in the context of North America or Western Europe. So basically, it is in the traditional way, it is known as the case method approach. So we use case method pedagogy in our approach to teaching. So this means that a real life case based on a real life organization most of the time is presented to students. They are expected to do their own reading in terms of the theoretical knowledge of the subject, and then they are expected to basically apply that knowledge in order to deconstruct and analyze the case. At times, we also require our participants to crack the case. crack the case means that, look, whole 100 or 50 or maybe 150 variables are being presented to you in terms of the financial details of the organization, in terms of the politics of the organization, in terms of the organizational fabric of the organization, in terms of the industry landscape. So here is the overall situation to you. Now you tell us what's the problem and what's the resolution. And that's how we take the discussion forward. So it's very participant-centered learning, participant-centered approach. It's very interactive. And I would say, once again, it's very fulfilling, but it's very challenging.
Okay, Dr. Jawad. As Dr. Jawad mentioned, that the pedagogy is basically case-based and the learning is all participant-centered. So if you are planning on joining the Executive MBA program, please make sure, please understand that you will be participating in the classroom discussion a lot. Okay, so Faria, you have been at LUMS for this Executive MBA program for over a year now, and you have seen the situation, the COVID-19 situation as well. How do you see the whole blended learning experience? How has it been for you so far?
So Amar, I mean, to be quite honest, I think when we went online, it was all so sudden, that the world had to do this transition in, span of 2 weeks. And clearly, a lot of people were not ready. So, I mean, we were all very skeptic because, we called the LUMS weekends, like Dr. Shakil said, the alternate weekends that we'd go to LUMS were called the LUMS weekends. And, there were people who were traveling from out of city. And there was a lot of excitement around those weekends also because we'd be on campus. So a lot of the fellows felt that the experience is not going to be the same. I had very many people reach out to me when this next batch was also online. But I think it's phenomenal the way we transitioned into this online methodology so seamlessly. And I also feel, just the way it said that every problem presents an opportunity also. And I feel that us going online presented a couple of opportunities also. So for instance, I mean, I think amid this pandemic, the most important thing that was very critical was the safety. So, this transition allowed everybody to be able to continue the program, because, I mean, at the end of the day, we were all professionals and we chose and embarked on this journey. So, putting a halt or putting this at a pause would have its own challenges. So I feel that it was one thing that we were able to continue, but it's also that this is the new normal, you see. So in all of our organizations, all the meetings, all interactions are now happening online. So I felt that this also prepares us for the new normal, so to speak. And with that, I'd also like to mention the LUMS methodology and the EMBA methodology also has guest speakers, as a key element of the way the program is designed. And I feel that we've been fortunate because if it were only on campus, we'd have very limited number of participants and leaders and industry leaders have our people we've interacted with locally and globally. So I feel that this online platform also gave us the opportunity and kudos to the management here, the way it was managed and organized, that we were able to interact with people from Silicon Valley. And so I feel to summarize, I feel it gave us enhanced outreach. It provided us safety whilst continuing, the learning. And initially, like I said, we all had our doubts whether the quality of education is going to be the same. Like it's been discussed, it's a case-based class. There are lots of people, everybody wants to participate. But I think right after we went online, very quickly, we evolved and it was just as good and the experience has been very enriched. So I think it's been a brilliant transition from that perspective and very quick one also.
Okay, thank you, Faria. Dr. Shakil, what sort of skills do we really look for in a candidate aspiring to enter this program? In other words, who would be an ideal candidate? This is being asked by Aisha.
Right. So Aisha, I think there are a few things that we look at. One is, the strength and the energy that you carry when you want to embark on this program. How excited you are in this program, because this is going to be, I think I would say that discover yourself and discover by yourself. So I think to do that discovery and to be part of that discovery process, there has to be a very strong commitment and very high level of energy that you want to come in this program. Second thing is the capability in terms of analytical capabilities, ability to understand complex problems, and then, be able to clearly carve out that what is the real problem and what is the problem that you would want to take on. And if you want to take on that problem, what is that you will look at and how will you analyze that situation as you look at that problem. So I think that analytic capability, the ability to analyze, is another very important skill set that we look at. Then also your ability to communicate. And I don't say that you have to be a very good communicator, but you should have reasonable level of communication. We will definitely build on that skill. We'll give you opportunity to become a better communicator in the classroom also, and that's what the intention of the program is. But the basic ability to communicate, to think on your feet, to make your mind on the fly, and then say your mind, so that others can sense that what is going on in your mind and how do you communicate your understanding and logic and point. So that's also something that we look at very carefully. Another dimension, I think, which is very important is that your understanding of your own field where you have been working. Because you see, we want to bring diversity and depth in this classroom. So when we are looking at, we are making a combination of the students who will become a batch in EMBA. We look at that we cover different industries, and those who come from these industries, they understand their industries and they have learned in those industries, because that's when they will be able to bring the knowledge of that industry, and we will really be able to kind of juice and tap into that diversity and experience that sits in the classroom. So if you have really excelled in your industry, you understand your industry, and you can bring the dynamics of that industry in the classroom, that's another advantage for your application. So I think these are some of the key elements when we are looking at an applicant, whether we want to have this applicant or not. And also we look at the trajectory that you have been taking in the past, and what trajectory would you take once you graduate from here. So will this program really be able to change your trajectory or not? So that's also because we have limited seats in our program, and we want to take in those people who we really can affect, and we can really change their trajectory of their life. So if we think that you are not the person whose trajectory we can change, then I think that's something that will discourage us. And so if we see that you are a person whose trajectory can be changed once you come in this program, we'll definitely want to have you. So I think these are some of the main things, Amar, although the application consideration process is very comprehensive, and we look at many other dimensions also. But if I were to summarize them, I think these are some of the few ones.
थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर शकील, आपने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से उसको समराइज किया। और एक चीज़ जो आप अक्सर कहते हैं, मैं जब आपसे डिस्कस भी करता हूँ या किसी वेबकास्ट में आपके साथ होता हूँ, डॉक्टर शकील ऑलवेज रिमाइंड अस कि एप्लीकेंट्स के अंदर जो चीज़ हम नोटिस करते हैं, स्पेशली इन एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए, जब उसकी एप्लीकेशंस को एवेल्यूएट किया जा रहा होता है, इज दैट थिंग हाउ कैन यू ब्रिंग richness to the classroom discussion, to the classroom experiences. एंड यही चीज़ आप अपने प्लीज़ इसको ज़रूर दिमाग में रखिएगा भी जब आप अपनी एप्लीकेशन भी फिल इन कर रहे होंगे, कि आप एक यूनिकनेस क्लासरूम के अंदर किस तरह से लेके आ सकते हैं. हाउ कैन यू ऐड टू द ओवरऑल एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ योर पीयर्स, ऑफ योर इंस्ट्रक्टर्स. डॉक्टर जवाद, आपके पास आता हूँ. What type of practical skills will this program add to my portfolio, being asked by the Braze?
Look, the important thing is this. The most important thing is that we would like to hone your leadership skills, your ability to lead, irrespective of your profession. So as I said earlier, that you can be an engineer, you can be a great engineer, but management and leadership is a slightly different ball game. You can be a great doctor. You can be a great architect. You can be a great pharmacist. You can be a great artist. But in order to have the ability to manage and lead, there are certain skill sets. Your ability to understand people, your ability to understand and manage people, your ability to understand, manage, and motivate people, your ability to understand and manage finances, your ability to understand and manage various kinds of resources. So all of these skills are imparted and honed through our MBA and Executive MBA program. And given that you already have at least 6 years of experience, preferably more, 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 years of experience, this program is particularly designed for you because we would like you to take leadership position in your organization. And it's not just the material purpose which we are seeking for you, or which we hope that you are seeking for yourself, but we would like you to have a positive impact on your organization and positive impact on the people around you, whether they are in your corporation or organization, or whether they are within your own family, or whether they are within your own wider society. So leadership and management skills would be my answer.
Leadership and management skills, basically.
Sure.
Okay. So Dr. Shakil, I'm going to come to you. I've got a question. It's being asked by Ellie, and Ellie says, I want to work outside Pakistan in UAE as an accountant. How will pursuing the Executive MBA from LUMS be effective in securing an employment there?
Right. So, Ali, there are two things. One is the accountant part, and the other thing is the working outside Pakistan. So I will take them one by one. So you see, you might not have to take this program to become a better accountant, as just Dr. Jawad mentioned. You will take this program to become a better manager and a better leader in the organization, to take on more challenging, more complex, more rewarding roles in your organization, and even if you want to change the industry or organization. So I think that's what this program will do. Second thing is the working abroad. So many of our students, so many of them, they have come to join Executive MBA with international experience before joining the program. And so many of them graduate from Executive MBA and find placements internationally and within Pakistan at top positions. And sometimes within Pakistan, they find more attractive career than they would find even outside Pakistan. So I have so many examples of students who graduated from Executive MBA and moved on to senior and top positions within Pakistan, and they also got opportunity to work abroad outside Pakistan. So, I mean, see, this program is going to develop you. This program is going to transform you. Now that will be up to you. Where do you want to make your career? Do you want to make your career as an accountant only, or you want to make your career in Pakistan only? You want to make your career abroad only? So this will develop you for working within Pakistan at top and senior management positions, and also outside Pakistan.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chacha and Ali. That was the answer to your question. And now we have our next question that is from Shaheen. Shaheen asks, what kind of workload can students expect? So naturally, this question goes to Faria. Faria, कैसा होता है आपके weekends पे तो आप काम करते हैं, क्या weekdays पे भी काम कर रहे होते हैं ऑफिस से आने के बाद, क्या और ये आपने इस प्रेशर में नहीं आना कि डॉक्टर शकील और डॉक्टर जवाद हमारे साथ हैं?
I mean, I think this is a very pertinent question that very many people have before they enter this program. There are also some who don't think through and just enter, and then reality sort of hits them. So I think it's no surprise that, LUMS being the most prestigious institution, this is a very rigorous program. But on the upside, it's very well structured. So you know how they say that a diamond is only formed after applying tons of pressure on a piece of coal, so no doubt that when you graduate, you are indeed a diamond. You're valued not only in the corporate sector, but in multiple facets of life. But when I talk about the work-life balance, because also as a female, I mean, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, there are multiple responsibilities. And then, naturally with a career, it is a plateful. But Amar, and to answer Shaheen's question, if I'm getting the name correctly, LUMS is extremely structured. So we're given a schedule about 3 to 4 weeks in advance. So you just need to plan ahead of time. The institution really supports us by giving everything to us ahead of the timelines. So I just feel that if you compartmentalize everything, you can absolutely not only be a part of the program, but also do well and enjoy it, because there's no point in doing this program if you just do it for the sake of academic knowledge. There's a lot of key takeaways that you take back from doing multiple case studies across various sectors. So, with such enriched learning, I'd like to give this feedback or advice to whoever is wanting to apply for the program, that consistency is the key here. So, if you continue to make some time every day, anywhere between half an hour to, more depending on your schedule, I think you can easily breeze through the program. No doubt it's challenging. For people who open their books, 2 days before the weekend, I'm sure it's a very different kind of pressure. But for myself, I mean, I've always been consistent throughout these 2 years. And like I said, that kind of makes this program a part of your life. So you need to be kind of married to this program for 2 years, make it part of your daily life, personally and professionally. And I think, from there on, it'd be a smooth sailing journey.
And Faria, इसमें इसका कितना रोल होता है कि आपके साथ जो बाकी आपके friends होते हैं, they are also working professionals with lots of number of years of experience, and they are in the same boat as you, family wise भी, professionally भी, और फिर उसके बाद weekends भी. तो उसका क्या रोल होता है कि एक community वहाँ पे बन जाती है?
I think, Amar, jo networking opportunities hai, it is so amazing, because just like you said, when we went online and it was Zoom, so the way the program is structured, there's a lot of discussions, there's a lot of participation. So we have discussion groups in which, like Dr. Jawad said, we crack the case. So there are people running, there are children running behind in the background. The beauty, I think, of the program is that everybody has similar challenges. Everybody is in a certain career and a certain stage of life, and you all really connect with each other. And I also feel that this program also kind of brings the child in you out, because the way we all behave, nobody can tell that we're, 11 years of average experience or average age of 35 years old, because we're just like children in high school or in classroom. So it kind of takes you back in time and gives you that same experience, which I think is brilliant, because outside of school and university at this age, it's very unlikely that you develop bonds and friendships. We do have corporate acquaintances, but I feel this program beyond, mentorship, beyond corporate networking, jo ek bond develop hota hai, I think that's very, very precious. And at this age, other than such a platform, that's impossible otherwise. So I think there's a lot of fun element also to this program.
Okay. And that was to answer your question, Shaheen. एक चीज जो मैं दोबारा से repeat कर दूं, फायरा ने भी कही, the consistency is the key to making sure that your journey is smooth in the Executive MBA program. And Faria, जब आप वो diamond वाली example दे रही थी, I could see Dr. Shakil and Dr. Jawad, they were satisfied with your example. Dr. Shakil, मैं आपके पास आता हूँ. Next question is from Aspan. He says, I'm from Quetta, but because of COVID, I can't physically be present for my classes. Would I be able to take this course online? But it's not a course, it is a degree program. It spans over more than 1.5 years. So अब इस light में kindly इस question को answer कीजिएगा.
Right. So it's Asfan. So Asfan, so far the plan is that as soon as we can come back to campus, we are going to come back on campus. So this program is not in its current version and current offering for online. We were online because we had to go online and there was no other way to continue at giving education to our students. So that's why we went online. For this particular program, and there are other programs which are offering blended learning. So just yesterday, there was, a day before yesterday, there was a program that you did webcast on, which was for blended learning model. But this program is going to come back to campus as soon as we can. In future, maybe next year or the next year, we might be offering Executive MBA in a model that is completely virtual or a combination of virtual and on campus. But this particular offering, we would want to bring it back to campus as soon as we can.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jaja. Dr. Jaja, another question is from Hassan, and Hassan asked, is there any preference over the application which is edited by a different consultant versus an original application? Now, in my understanding, we require original applicant to furnish all the data himself, fill in the application on his own. But what would you say to this question?
Amar, I think I don't know what do they mean by consultant. I don't think there is anybody like consultant who can, help you during your 2 years of education at MBA. So I think even if you hire some consultant, that might be enough for submitting the application, but even during the evaluation of the application and during the interview process, we shall be able to see that where is this application coming from. So I would say that be honest and submit. This is not being honest. Be honest with yourself. So submit the application that you really that really represents yourself. And in interview also, we would like originality, we would like honesty, and that's the, some of the values that Dr. Dawood was earlier pointing out. We keep those values very close to ourselves. So during 2 years at MBA also, you will see that, if you are original, you are honest, you will enjoy the program more, you will learn from the program more, and you will truly associate yourself with the community at LUMS and with your class fellows. So this is my sense on this.
Certainly. So be yourself, be original, and LUMS will definitely evaluate you on the skills you have, which you will write in your application. And since there is going to be an interview, inshallah, when you will fill in your application and you will be called for an interview, the panel will also be able to judge as to how accurate the information that you have given is and how that resonates with your personality as well. Having said that, Dr. Dawood, thank you so much for being, once again, for being with us today. I know it must have been extremely difficult for you to stop and be a part of this webcast today. If there is a message that you would like to give to our audience, please do so, and then we can proceed ahead.
Thank you, Amar. The only thing which I would like to say is this, that when you ask me about the skills which we hope to impart to our graduates, surely I talk about leadership and management skills to include. And I thought that it's an opportunity for me to clarify that we would like to develop analytical skills within our graduates, within our students, critical skills, the ability to critically evaluate any position or situation in a constructive manner. Communication skills. So they should have the ability not only to deconstruct and analyze a situation, but also be able to communicate its possible resolution. And last but not least is social skills, in order to have social impact, not only on their organization, but also on the wider society. My last 2 words would be, I think that I would be borrowing it from Iqbal, perhaps Iqbal or another poet. है जुस्तजू के खूब से है, खूब तर कहाँ, अब देखिए ठहरती है जाकर नजर कहाँ. So we are here to, inshallah ta'ala, make you खूब to खूब तर, or come and join us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dawood. Sure. Thank you very much.
Khuda Hafiz from my side.
Okay. Allah Hafiz. Okay, so Dr. Shakil, आपके पास फिर से मैं आता हूँ. वकास हमसे पूछ रहे हैं, what would be the class size?
Right. So class size is not a fixed number, Amar, for us. We look at what is the, whoever qualifies our requirement of quality, we take that person in. So we don't have a fixed class size that we have to have 60 people or 40 people. Yeah, on the minimum side, we do have around 25 or 30, we would definitely want to have our class beyond that, because the pedagogy is such that it tries to leverage the class experience, the class understanding, and that cannot happen if the class size is too small. So on that side we have, but beyond that there is no limit. And yes, there would be some upper limit, maybe around 50 or 60, that would be the upper limit. And beyond that, making that participant centered learning becomes very difficult for us. So beyond that, we don't want to go. But between these two ranges, we see that where do we have the best number of candidates that we would want to have in our classroom.
Okay. And Dr. Jaja, while we are on this topic, could you also shed some light on the class profile, the different industries that our executives have joined us from, the different positions they are working on? What is the class profile? Yes.
Right. So Amar, in terms of class profile industries, so there are students from, I think, very large range of industries and diversity. So for example, telecom, information technology, hospitals, education, law firms, banks, oil and gas, fertilizer manufacturing, automobile, agriculture, consulting, and so on, their own businesses, private family businesses, and so on. So I think Faria can also speak to this. She can endorse this. So she has class fellows from all these areas. And in terms of then duration of experience, as I mentioned, I think the range would be somewhere between 6 and 7 years to maybe around 25 years of experience. So that would be the minimum and somewhere maximum experience per person sitting in the class. And what else can we mean by this class profile? Yes, in geographic terms, they come from Lahore, Islamabad, Karachi, Hyderabad, Peshawar, and many other cities in the country. In terms of gender mix, we are encouraging female to become more and more part of Executive MBA and our graduate programs are, I don't know any program in the world which has 50% scholarship for females, for admitted females. So I don't know if somebody knows any such program in the world which offers such generous scholarship for women in a graduate program. So we are trying to increase representation of women in our program. And what else can we talk about diversity? So these are some of the dimensions I think that can give a sense of diversity, unless Faria wants to add on this.
I think, thank you, Dr. Shakil. I do want to touch upon the women's scholarship, because I think that plays an instrumental role in people, in the case of many women trying to pursue this goal. So in my opinion, I feel women inherently are powerful. They just need support and encouragement to fulfill their, dreams and aspirations. And I feel that this EMBA scholarship is one step forward for many women out there, So the program not only provides you an opportunity to interact with a diverse set of inspiring people, but in terms of both faculty and students, these are people who respect that gender diversity, who help you provide that platform. So I feel that this effort on the part of LUMS will facilitate many more women to sort of take that step forward, not only to enter the program, but, also assume leadership roles in the future, which, I feel that for a young and growing population like ours is much needed. So I think this is a great step. And, being somebody who's availing this, I feel it's a very important aspect of the decision making, because you get the same quality of education, but you're being supported, you're being acknowledged, and it's an equal opportunity platform. So I think this is a great, aspect for women when they're thinking or deliberating whether or not to come forward for the program.
Thank you, Faria. Thank you, Faria. Dr. Shakil, we are generally asked about the scholarships and the financial assistance, the way we can help our applicants pay the fee for this program. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in my understanding, it goes this way, that we also, in addition to the scholarship for women, we also have this MCB loan facility available to our applicants. And it works this way, that they get a loan for the 50% of the total fee amount, and it gets payable once they 6 months after they graduate, and then they can have it spanned over a number of years. Now, is that true? Do we still offer it? And is there a variation to it, to what I have said?
That's perfect, Amar. So there is also loaning facility from MCB Bank. So what we do is we connect the student with MCB Bank, and MCB Bank then gives loan to the student on very, I think, comfortable terms. That is one of the ways you can sponsor your education or bridge finance your education when you're here. And then after you graduate, you pay back the loan.
ओके एंड डॉक्टर शकील, आप जब हम इस बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो अगर आप एक दफ़ा एडमिशन क्राइटेरिया दोबारा से हमारी ऑडियंस को बता दें, उन ऑडियंस के लिए जिन्होंने अभी हमारा प्रोग्राम जो है ज्वाइन किया, so that they have a clear understanding of what we expect. Right.
So Amar, admission criteria on very, I would say, clerical terms is that you have 16 years of education. You have taken GRE, GMAT, and or NTS GAT test. You have 6 years of experience minimum post your graduation, and meaning the undergraduate after 16 years of education. And then I think these are the 3 things. And then there is application also, which has certain questions that we look at. So we ask you certain questions about why do you want to join this program? How will this program help you? And what do you want to pursue after this program? And how does that align with the trajectory you have taken in the past and you hope to take in the future? So that is also a part of the application. So I think these are the documents that you have to submit to us. And then obviously the faculty looks at the application in several different ways. As I mentioned before, that what are the skills that we look at the candidate when we are hiring or we are inducting a candidate in MBA.
बिल्कुल. And जैसे डॉक्टर जजा ने बात की अभी एडमिशन क्राइटेरिया की, so yes, you have to opt for one of the 3 options that we have made available for you. You could go for GRE, you could go for GMAT, and now you can go for GAT as well. So it's up to you, but make sure that you have taken this exam, whichever one you select, by 21st of May 2021, because the deadline to fill in your online application is 25th of May. So make sure you keep these dates in mind and make a note of these. Okay, we have a question from Solat, and though I believe it has already been answered in quite a detail by Dr. Shakil, by Dr. Jawad as well. इस दफा मैं इस क्वेश्चन को डायरेक्ट कर रहा हूँ फारिया की तरफ, so that she can relate with her experiences and let her audience know about that. How can we get admission into the Executive MBA? What does the panel really look for in a candidate? फारिया, मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप अगर अपना इंटरव्यू का एक्सपीरियंस जो है हमारे साथ शेयर कर सकें यहाँ पे.
So I think if I can be very candid, I think the interview experience and the entire application process is also very challenging, because, you know, LUMS is looking for so, you know, I think the skills can be honed, the skills can be improved upon with time, but I think the institution is looking for a very specific DNA of people. And on that note, I'd like to add that you need to be very tenacious, people who are hardworking, people who want to derive value out of this program. So wherever there is willingness to learn more, I think that would be the core strength that we're looking for, because everything else, Amar, is imparted to us through the program. So, you know, strategic decision making, like Dr. Jawad said, leadership skills, the ability to understand and respect others' viewpoint, the ability to articulate your own viewpoint and to be able to defend it. All these are skills that are, you know, you can take back to your personal experience. But the interview process, the entire, so like Dr. Shakil said, the application is a very detailed application. You're bound to write a personal statement, your aspirations and your goals. And I feel that part of application process also holds immense value. So I'd like to recommend, as an earlier question came up, please do not hire any consultant to do that. put in your heart and soul and be very honest, because that's what the institution is looking for. With regards to the interview, in terms of logistics, it's a panel interview. One of my fellows was asked to calculate the net present value of a cow. So, there can be all sorts of questions. Essentially, what the panelists are looking for is your ability to communicate and the underlying approach or orientation or behavior, so to speak, because everything else wo program se aati hai. And, I'd like to mention that I'm so proud of my peers, because they were people who in the first module or in the first few classes were, quiet, and they were so timid. And when we look at the same people after a course of 1.5 years, they've really evolved as people. So I feel that this program, if you're a strong communicator and you lack the analytical skills, that's what you get from this. If you're an analytical person and a strategic thinker, but you lack the communication, because it's a combination of so many diverse courses and material put together, that it kind of makes you that, it gives you the jack of all traits, so to speak. So I think that's all that we're looking for in terms of the evaluation process. I remember I filled mine 2 days before the deadline, but it was all done by my own self. So I think people should not worry about that.
Okay, thank you, Faria. And Dr. Shakil, last question we're including here from our community, and we have 1 minute for this. If a student gets 90% marks in GAT, will he or she be eligible for scholarship? As we all know that it happens with excellent marks in GRE and GMAT. If not, how they all are equally worthy? There's a technical bit to this question that you can pick and answer, Dr. Shakil.
Right. So if, for example, you get just 50% marks in GRE or GAT or whatever test you take versus you take 90% marks, that will definitely strengthen your application. That will definitely be more valued. So because as this is a part of the application process, and this indicates your ability to analyze and your thoughtfulness. Now on the scholarship, Amar, in this program, since this is targeted at executives who are already working, they are earning also to different degrees. There are no scholarships on merit or admission ranking. And the idea is that since all who are going to join this program, they are working individuals and they are earning for themselves. There are scholarships in other programs, such as in our regular MBA or other programs where we are having full-time students who are not doing job when they are studying at LUMS, and similarly in undergraduate programs where they are not doing job, they are just, or they cannot do job at that stage. So there we have scholarships. Here we don't have. Here only for women. If you are woman, you have 50% scholarship. And also, as you pointed out, the MCB loan facility. So I think these are the things that you mentioned.
Exactly, Dr. Sacha. Bilkul. And okay, so that's it. Thank you so much, Dr. Shakil. Thank you so much, Faria. Thank you so much, Dr. Jawad. I hope you travel safely back to your home. For being with us today, and I'm sure कि हमारी audience के लिए आज काफी ज़्यादा फायदेमंद ये session रहा है. हर किस्म का opinion Dr. Chacha की तरफ से, Dr. Jawad की तरफ से, Faria as a current student की तरफ से, as an alumna की तरफ से. So I am also sure that now our applicants are well aware as to how best approach the admissions application. We have tried to address any confusions, any questions that you have, and before we go today, I once again, मैंने पहले ये बात कर ली, but I'd like to remind you that the last day to take your GRE or GMAT or GAT exam, whichever one you select, is 21st May, and the last day to fill out your online admission application is 25th May 2021. So once again, I urge you to start filling in your application as soon as you can, and best of luck from our side, and we look forward to evaluating your application.